Deltarune today! Hello everybody, welcome back to another Deltarune video. I've wanted to make another Deltarune video for a long time, but I just ran out of stuff to talk about. Not anymore! By the way, here's a little clip for you from a video I made earlier this year. My best guess would be either around Christmas time, which, you know, if it does, like, Chapter 4 is about Noel a lot, that could work out. Or they'll just save it for, like, next spring, potentially. Depending on the Switch 2 as well. I think that will be a factor, at least. Although, of course, Deltarune can release on the Switch 2 after it's released. But if they end up being so close together, I think it'd be kind of crazy for Toby not to try to get it out as, like, a launch game for the Switch 2, right? So, yeah, you know, you can never doubt me again or something. I'm kidding. Deltarune Chapters 1 to 4 release date announcement. This was in the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct today. I'm sure you've heard about it by now because I had to do stuff today, so this video is coming out very late compared to other people's, probably. Hopefully I have some unique points. I haven't watched any of those videos either, like other people's videos, so this is just whatever has come to my mind, so maybe I'm saying things that are obvious to you, but we'll find out together, okay? So this is a little newsletter Toby released alongside with the trailer and some new screenshots on the Steam page. I actually should have kept the Steam page up because there might be new information on there as well. I'll have to look and see. But June 5th, 2025, there you go. And it's coming to all systems on that day. So you don't have to get a Switch 2 to play it on there. I will be playing it on PC. I'm still a little torn. You know what? Maybe you can answer this in the comments if you would actually watch me play through Chapters 3 and 4. If you'd rather me do it as a YouTube series of episodes so I don't get spoiled on anything, because I don't think I'm going to be able to complete both chapters in one day. Or if you want me to do live streams, because I'm open to either option. But if I do you do so it's stupid. If I do that on YouTube, I will make them like 2-hour long episodes. Like, I'm not gonna make you wait for me to see all the new content, and I'll obviously have plenty to talk about with theories. So I've already got a lot of theories today. We will look at the trailer after. I just want to say the price, $25. That's American, so you know. If you don't live there, it'll be a little more expensive. But you know what? That's fine, because like Toby says, all the other chapters are going to be free after that, so it's like a one-time payment, which is incredibly generous, I would say. Especially if there's 3 chapters coming up, so this really could have been a full-price game, right, when you think about it. Toby made $1 billion on Undertale. It's not surprising that he can pull something like this off. But I am very appreciative, alright? I'm very appreciative. I don't know about Steam wish listing. I have no idea what that does, if anything. Although this image is very funny. It does look like it got weirdly chroma keyed, though. Because, like, the Steam logo is, like, hollow in Susie's mouth. So, it's still funny, though. And then console differences. There actually is something important to note here, is that the Nintendo Switch has a special room with mouse mode controls. So if you didn't watch the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, you can use the Joy-Cons like a mouse. So you can basically have 2 mice attached at the same time. And we'll see that in the trailer in a second. I will say, I don't know what Pluie is. I feel like I've missed Pluie completely. Because I wasn't on Twitter for a while, and then Toby came to Blue Sky, and it was all about carpet and roast chicken. So maybe it's just a recent thing and I haven't seen it. I have heard about it, though, so it seems like it could be something related to the new chapters. We'll see. Like, I'm imagining nothing important, obviously. Something like Newbert or one of those type of characters. So Switch 2 has a unique small room. You can import your save files from Switch, makes sense. And Switch 1, which also makes sense. So the Switch demo, yeah. We get to watch a cute loading screen longer than other consoles. I mean, I am kind of interested to see what that would be, but it is funny that one of the features is it has longer loading times. PC Mac versions, convenience of PC, recommended control scheme, because obviously you have a mouse on computer and PC as well. And then PS4, PS5. We were required to have trophies. A pretty hardcore challenge, but please listen, I make no endorsement. You actually attempt it. Oh boy, that sounds like a lot of people are going to attempt it. I bet you it's play through the entire game without saving. I bet you that's what it is. Anyway, conclusion. Game's coming out. Yippee! And Toby can finally say the release date. Good for Toby. So that's it for the newsletter. It's more of just a cleanup on the trailer. But before we actually get to the trailer, I do want to do the Steam page first, because there's some stuff in there that I think is very interesting and will inform our analysis of the trailer. So just give me a second. I want to open the Steam thing and see if there's any new written information either. I don't see anything immediately new. Although, was there always a hidden Beppis down here? I've never seen that before. Beppis. Anyway, I think this has all been said before. The only difference is now, obviously, we got the new trailers and images and stuff. This part about chapters 1 to 4 will be available on launch, with more planned as free updates. Makes sense. Okay, screenshots. We're starting with this one. It's Jockington making the cool S, you know, that thing that people graffiti in school that somehow has transcended the globe. And I guess the joke is Jockington growing the beard completes the S shape. I am confused what chapter this could possibly be in. This creature on the left looks very much like it could be a chapter 4 character. Yet, the setting feels way more chapter 3 looking to me. Although, actually, I take that back. Maybe if this is just graffiti Jockington put on something in the church, that could make some sense. And the reason I say that will become very clear later. Okay. Next. We've seen this before, but we got some new stuff here. You can see we have like a timer and ammo in this section, which I guess makes sense. There has to be some challenge. You can't just rapid fire them all their socks off or whatever. Aim with left and right and up and down. I'm not sure why you... I guess that's just for the reticle, right? That makes sense. And then fire with Y. Sure. Nothing too different. We've seen the Shadow Men before. We've seen all of this before. There's just a couple new little details. This we have not seen before. I'm confused why Susie's has a giant X over, or like a cross over it. Like maybe we can't control Susie, that's what it's supposed to say. So, but we're not doing Ralsei's either. I don't exactly get that one. But yeah, it's like a rock star sort of hair metal thing. I don't know what Ralsei has some sort of like icon on his shirt. Is it icy? No, because it's got like wispy hair. I don't know. Maybe we can pause the trailer later and see that better. The Deltarune drum set's kind of crazy. Susie definitely rocking this look. Chris it's okay. I think Ralsei and Susie got better in the design department, but the guitar is very cool. I've been trying to figure out what this says in the background, because it's something live, right? The problem is there's like combo numbers also mixed in with these Guitar Hero sort of gameplay elements, and I really can't make out what it's supposed to be. My best guess is it might be something, because like GH, and there's an S at the end, and the first one's either an L or like it must be an L. Oh, Lightner's Live! I got it! Okay, Lightner's Live. That doesn't tell us anything, but hey, there you go. There's also some suspicious yellow stars in the background that look like the save icons in Undertale, but I don't think that's actually anything. I think that's just supposed to be flashing lights. So yeah, I mean, this is cool. It doesn't tell us too much, though. It's another Chapter 3 thing. A lot of the Chapter 3 stuff is extra vague. Like, the Chapter 4 stuff is vague, too, but it tells us a bit more because we don't know anything about Chapter 4. So we're, like, climbing up to where we know Chapter 3 at in Chapter 4. Speaking of Chapter 4, this is the only screenshot from the Steam page that I believe comes from Chapter 4. And the reason for that, other than just the design of these enemies, is the fact that Chris has 200 HP, and level 3 Chris has 160 HP. I knew that somehow, right when I saw that image. Which means you level up every time you move over to a new chapter. So this is either after Chapter 3 in the castle town, which is possible for one particular reason, or it is in Chapter 4 or post Chapter 4, before Chapter 5. Now, the reason I think this could be in Castletown is the fact that these enemies are using diamond attacks. Like, you can see at the top there are 3 diamonds, and at the bottom there are 3 more diamonds that look like they're going to come up. And these, like, lines across, I think, are the diamonds, like, either shooting upwards or shooting downwards at, like, breakneck speed, you know what I mean? And then they've got these drifting fireballs that probably do, like, a Toriel-like movement throughout the thing, so you have to dodge 2 things at once. There are enemies that use these diamonds as, like, default projectiles that aren't from, like, Card Kingdom type enemies. But it is, you know, it is tied to them specifically. And these also kind of look like Card Kingdom like enemies. I really tried to figure out what these could be. Maybe you guys in the comments can tell me more. My best guess is they're like some kind of lanterns, because obviously they're using fire attacks, and these things on their heads look like they're emitting light because they're pure white. But I have no idea what this actual shape is. I feel like I know it too, which is the worst part. Like, this specific shape of the cross over a ball for like a lantern feels so familiar to me, but I can't quite place it. And everything I searched up didn't really make sense. And then their bodies are also a weird shape. Like, I think the collar could be entirely something just for the design of the character, but their body shape looks like, you know, like a bookmark or a I don't know. For a second I was thinking maybe they're like Christmas ornaments, but that doesn't really make sense with the ghostly fire, right? So if you don't know, if you haven't watched my videos before, my 2 theories for what Chapter 4 would be either the Holiday Mansion, which is based off of the last newsletter that came out, where we had, I've got the newsletters open already. So this is the holiday newsletter, right? And we get a bunch of information, but we also get this Chapter 4 section with this Christmas tree. And I theorize that perhaps, because of all this stuff that we got, oh, Inferno. I bet you that's these enemies saying that. Seems how they're fire-based. It could be. Anyway, I theorized that perhaps Holiday Mansion was actually Chapter 4 and not the church, which is what we were kind of expecting. Now I'm not entirely sure. I'm feeling like the church is actually much stronger again. Anyway, I really don't know what these things are. So somebody can let me know. That'd be great. All right, let's look at the trailer. I just want to make sure. I mean, it's not great. Whatever. It'll work. You can see some of the stuff. Nintendo UK was the only one to actually upload this separately, which they also were the ones who had the Switch 2 Direct stream not with audio lag and a giant crash in the middle of it, so Nintendo UK keeps winning today. So I paused on this frame specifically to check and see if there were any new people in the castle town in this little sizzle area. And there is, technically, because we have the Shadow Man here. I thought these feet on the top right might be a different character, but no, that's Pop-Up. I figured that out. You know, I was going to say this too. These guys do feel like they kind of share some design language with the the chapter 1 characters. Like looking at oh my god, what's its name? The heart suit character. It's not Hardy. Why am I don't know. And Rudin. Hathy. It's Hathy. Hathy and Rudin. You see like this white and blue or white and green coloring. And this also has a white and blue coloring. I don't know. Whoops. It's the wrong tab. So anyway, I'm going to turn the speed down to 0.5. And we'll just go through everything one by one here. Okay, this is chapter 1 because you can look at the HPs. Doesn't denote a new fight. There's nothing there, I don't think. I mean, rules pops up in the corner. It's kind of funny. Spam tong. Okay, this is the same thing we got from the Steam images. So we've already seen this. This is definitely the minigame Toby was talking about for that special room. Because you've got a left and right thing that you're moving along at an angle, which is definitely the switch mouse functionality. So I was really confused what this was, what this could possibly be related to in chapter 3. Well, that's because it's a mini game that's not non-canon, but it's like not related to an actual chapter, so that makes sense. Are those cat faces, by the way? I just realized that. That's kind of funny. Maybe it's Mad Mew Mew? All right, and we did see this, but we didn't see the close-ups on the sprites. Now this, okay, we actually have to go back a little bit because I didn't pause at the right point because I forgot. This was, oh god, I actually moved it to the exact right point and then played it again. Right here. All right. This is a big point of contention, I think, at least with people who are in the live stream with me talking about it. So you can see there's glass breaking here in this scene. However, actually, you know what? This glass texture, hold on, looks very similar to the floor in this Jockington image. So perhaps this is actually in chapter 4 and it's graffiti, and I was correct. Because it wouldn't really make sense for Jockington to be in chapter 3. And so this creature is from chapter 4, which definitely leaning church in that scenario. Now, there's a bit of an argument here whether this scene has Susie and Chris in different color because of lighting or something else. But here's... well, it's not the best argument now that I'm actually looking at it again. But you can see... let's just actually move forward a bit. So, in this section, there's these stained glass windows. So this is definitely chapter 4, and that also definitely really feels like the church. The reason I feel like this could be something more than purely lighting, because like obviously we've been in the cyber world's deep dark basement and the lighting didn't change either, which I don't know, maybe it'll be updated now so that the lighting does change. Susie's eye color is different, and it's not specifically darker, it's like an entirely different color. Hold on. There we go. It's from yellow to green, right? Like Susie's color scheme has changed entirely. Chris's is a little bit more muted. Like, I mean, in general. Like, Chris's scarf isn't red anymore. It's gray. Which leads me to believe, like, I don't want to say anything preemptively here that's too crazy. Hold on, can't go to there yet. That this could actually be some kind of different dark world in chapter 4. Like, I don't want to necessarily say a darker dark world, but, you know, something like that. Because the palettes changed only so far when we moved from the light world to the dark world. And even then, Susie's barely changed. Which kind of makes sense because Susie's already kind of a fantastical character, right? Chris is kind of a grounded character, whereas Susie is kind of fantastical. Just in, like, maybe not in the Undertale world, but moving Susie from hometown to the castle town. Susie kind of fits in with the castle town already, right? But this seems like it's going, like, more realistic almost, which I guess would make sense if it's darker than dark. We're getting closer to reality, if you want to put it that way. That Susie has like is more realistic tones. Makes sense? Probably not, but like dingier tones to reflect like a closer thing to reality. Like bright colors are related with fantasy, right? Which makes me think that this Dark World is either made by somebody completely different. Like maybe this does confirm that Chris actually made the first 3 Dark Worlds because they all have a very similar aesthetic. And then somebody else has made this Dark World, and that's why it has a totally different aesthetic. Maybe. It's also possible, because this is happening in the church, that this Dark World is like Noelle's, and it's like based on her depression after her dad dies. You know what I mean? So it's very possible. I have no like idea why we would be rock climbing necessarily, but you know, I can't really comment on that too much. So there's King and Queen and Tenna, who's a 3D model. This is kind of weird. Because like you can see this very realistic looking TV as like a outer view. And I'm wondering if this is actually in the game or just for the trailer. Like, I think the 3D model will be in the game. I'm just not sure that this actual, like, TV outside will be. But then again, maybe it will be. I mean, it's not like Toby hasn't given us the gumball machine or whatever in... That's just a straight-up image of a real-world object in the Spamton Sweepstakes. So it really could just be like that. I don't have much to say other than this is, like, the most... straightforward design for Tenna you could probably ever make, which is kind of funny considering how much people iterated on the idea of a TV-headed character, and then it's like, yeah, it's a TV-headed character. Okay, so this is how we definitely know that this is chapter 4. Hey, look, Chris's scarf is red now. Oops. Well, forget what I said before about that not being red. Actually, Chris is looking a lot bluer here too. That's odd. Maybe it's just that one sprite that looks different. But Susie's eyes are still green, so I'm still not entirely sure about this. Also, Ralsei is missing in both of these shots, which is very interesting. Like, if it is a darker, dark world, maybe Ralsei can't get here. I have no idea what these little creatures would be. Unless they're, like, dust mites? I don't know. But this Deltarune symbol magic glass is very interesting. If you don't know, magic glass is the name for these little tiles that pop up whenever you accidentally walk out of bounds. Actually, you can see them in the normal gameplay of Deltarune in certain secret areas. And Toby said in a tweet, hopefully, maybe I can find, it's not a tweet, it's from Blue Sky, but hopefully I can find it just to put on screen, that he had to explain magic glass to one of the testers, which I think might be in reference to this, which if that's true, what does it mean that the magic glass is actually in like a main chapter area, assumedly? That feels very like we're outside the bounds of the normal reality. It's very curious. Also, the Deltarune being printed on all of these tiles with like a face with sharp teeth on it behind it, it looks like, is very spooky. I will say that. Alright, and then we have this scene where the angel wings open up. And if I had to guess... Wait, actually, did I read something? Hold on. Okay, no, I think I was misreading the loading screen thing for Nintendo Switch 1, that joke about getting to watch the loading screen longer. This is, like, clearly a cutscene, in my opinion. Which, either this is the intro for a boss fight, which would be kind of crazy. They've never done that before, obviously. Or this is some sort of opening cinematic, which is interesting, because Toby talked about having an opening cinematic for Deltarune, but then scrapping it because he didn't want to reveal who the big end villain was and before, you know, it actually gets revealed. Does that mean we're going to get a reveal as to who the angel, presumably, with these giant angel wings is in this chapter, in this update, like in chapter 4? It wouldn't be crazy to think, especially if it's taking place in the church with Noelle. I will say, I think this lends a lot more credence to the church being the location for the Chapter 4 Dark World. I'm still upset that I can't figure out who these characters are. I mean, okay, if they are extra card characters, like they're aces of clubs or something, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that makes sense if somebody brought some of the cards to the church to play games with, and that's why the cards are missing out of Gerson's classroom. Perhaps. I'm very curious to know what you guys think, though. I'd love to hear your thoughts, especially on what these creatures are. So yeah, let me know. I will read them all, obviously, and let's all look forward to chapters 3 and 4. I can't believe Deltarune's actually real. The Deltarune is real!